ਦੋਸਤੋ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ 15 ਅਕਤੂਬਰ ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਮੇਅਰ ਦੀ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰੀ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਵਾ ਸਕੀਏ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਾਣੂ ਕਰਵਾ ਸਕੀਏ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਲਾਨਸ ਨੇ। ਗੋਲਡੀ ਹੌਗ ਸਰੀ ਫਸਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਮੇਅਰ ਦੇ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਨੇ, MLA ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਮੈਂਬਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਕੌਂਸਲਰ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਵਾਈਟ ਰੌਕ ਦੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। ਬਹੁਤ ਲੰਬਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਕੈਰੀਅਰ ਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਰਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਆ। ਸੋ ਗੋਡੀ, after your long political career, why you have chosen to run for the mayor of Surrey?
Well, because I believe Surrey is the future of Canada. The potential that Surrey has, we speak over 100 languages, and the face of Surrey, I think, represents what our Constitution says. And we've been talking about differences in Surrey for so long. It's time we started talking about the sameness, the potential we have if we work together. So being able to look at that and being approached by people about that potential, recognizing that, I think is an exciting opportunity for us as Surrey. I think that in the future it's going to be known as Metro Surrey, and Surrey is going to be the most important city in Canada. And that's because we have more land than Vancouver, Richmond, and Burnaby combined. And we have more, we're growing faster. We're soon going to be the largest city in British Columbia and most important one in Canada. So seeing that and recognizing the potential and being approached by people about how can we recognize and support that future, that was exciting for me to have that opportunity to be able to assist and support and engage so many people in Surrey about the potential that they have, not just as Surrey, but as individuals, having a chance to live, work, and play in the same area.
So in last election, there were so many promises made by the sitting mayor, and he delivered on most of his promises. So still you think there is a need for the change in the city?
Yeah, I do. And I think that the city made some decisions, the council made decisions to get rid of a number of their advisory committees. And I think it's so important that the city of Surrey involve the citizens of Surrey in terms of those decision making. And most cities have people who sit on advisory committees. I believe that the city of Surrey should be holding meetings out around the city and in some of the recreational centers so people have access to the people that are making those decisions. And we've got to remember that the elected people report to the citizens of Surrey, not the other way around. And sometimes I think we get confused about that.
Police transition, it was a burning topic in the last election, and we think same is this time. Do you think, so what's your position on this first?
Well, we have said that it's a really important decision, and before we can finalize it, we really we need to know what the costs are, and they have not been made apparent to us. And so there are a number of people who tell me that it's 200 million over budget, or more than that over budget, and it's going to take another 3 to 5 years for us to be able to realize it. So I think that as we go through this process, we want to be able to make an informed decision, and as the longer it goes, the more that will be expended in it, and it may be that there's no turning back in terms of the direction that it's going. But I think that the citizens need and deserve the right to know exactly what the costs are and why it's taken so long and what the issues are. So we're just in the position of have to work through that and be able to make a decision based on information, not just based on assumptions that are out there. So we'll work through that, and we'll turn that over to say to the citizens of Surrey, this is what the information is, and we'll make a decision based on that.
So do you think, is it possible at this stage to pull the plug of transition?
Well, I think it would be difficult. And it's not the city of Surrey that has this decision. It's the province that makes this decision. The city of Surrey applied to the provincial government to move to the Surrey Police Services, and the provincial government gave them that okay. The board, the Surrey Police Board, is appointed by the province, not by Surrey. Surrey appoints just 2 people to it. So it's a process that has to be informed, and the decision has to be made by the province. So the city of Surrey, if there's a change, would have to make application to the province and have to have good reasons for that. And at this point, we just don't have enough information to be able to do that. But your question about whether or not it's too late, it may be, but we don't know that yet because we don't have the information.
And you promised 300 new police officers in coming 4 years. So do you think this is practically possible, as we have only limited number of new trained police officers every year?
Well, it's certainly going to be a challenge. We have about, I think, 830-something police officers now. Vancouver has 1,500. So we really need to be able to hire all the police officers we can to do that. But we also need to make sure that the policing model is a model that addresses the needs of Surrey. So we know that at least 30% of the offenses committed in Surrey are as a result of drug and alcohol or mental health issues. And we have to make sure that we are well trained in terms of doing that. And we do have some cars that are out that have social workers and people with the police officers. I used to be a probation officer, and I used to ride one weekend a month with the staff sergeant in charge of Surrey. And we would go to all the domestic violence and all the gang activities. And being able to, and because I wasn't in uniform, nor did I carry a gun, sometimes that helped de-escalate. So we need to make approaches like that. And certainly Portugal is a model that has looked very actively at being able to address those issues. And we need to have more police officers. If it's a Surrey Police Force, they have to be trained at the Justice Institute. I used to teach at the Justice Institute. I know a little bit about what's going on there. And obviously there are a number of people who would love to work in Surrey from the RCMP and other areas. So we will work hard at trying to increase the numbers that we have so that we can ensure that the public safety can be the best possible for the people of Surrey.
We think you are the most experienced politician running for the this mayoral candidate you are. So is there any solution for the portables? Your slate have any plan to construct new schools?
Well, certainly that's the responsibility of the province and of the school board. And there hasn't been enough understanding and discussion between the school board, the Ministry of Education, and the City of Surrey, although it has improved a little bit in the last little while. But traditionally, Surrey has grown, and then you build a school way after the population moves in there. That has to be done in concert with each other. So the planning and the zoning for Surrey, as they're talking about residential development, we need to make sure that there is space aligned in that and designated for schools. And that has to be kept up in terms of the process. And we've certainly fallen behind, although I think it's getting a little better now. But it's that not just running off as a city and say, here are all the things we're going to do for zoning, without doing that in concert with the school board and the Ministry of Education. But they are having some meetings now in Surrey, and I think there's that discussion is starting to take place. I'd like to see that enhanced so that we do have, in the official community plan, that we actually have designated spots for those schools. Otherwise, we're putting ourselves into way behind, as we have been in the past.
Surrey is a very diverse city, and do you think your slate reflects the demographic and the diversity of the Surrey?
Yes, I do. I'm very pleased that we have 4 people of color, that we have 3 women, and that they represent so many facets of Surrey. And I'm very proud of Surrey, and speaking, as we say, over 100 languages. And Surrey is the face of Canada, and I'm so proud of Surrey and the evolution. And again, I think it's celebrating that sameness. Wherever you go in the world, most people care about the same things. They care about family and community and getting ahead, whether it's economically or socially or culturally. I was at Johnson Heights School about a month and a half ago, and they've got flags from all kinds of countries hanging down in the ceiling. And I was walking down, and there was a boy there, and I turned to him and said, is the flag that you're from here? And he took me down and he pointed at the flag in the ceiling. And that was such a neat feeling to know that people are coming here. They're a part of Surrey. They're a part of Canada. They've come to Canada with their families, and they're celebrating that. And it's so nice to see that they can still look and point to where they came from, but they want to be here. They want to be in Canada, and they want to be in Surrey. And that's just such a great strength for our community.
So any message to the viewers?
Yeah, just that I believe that we need to have people engaged in decision-making who have lived experience, they're not just academic, and they're not just bureaucrats, and not just politicians, but people who've lived in the community, who have experienced the community, who understand the community. I've been very fortunate to have I'm on Food Bank's British Columbia's board. I'm on Seniors Come Share Society. I do volunteer work with a nonprofit called Disability Without Poverty. When I was an MLA, I lived on the street for 2 days to get a sense of what it's like to not have a home to go to and to live those experiences. And I think that one of the things we need to do is ensure that that the people who are making decisions have lived experience, not just an academic experience or a belief that this is what should happen, but actually have a visceral emotive connectedness with people in terms of how that goes. And I believe that the people that are running with Surrey First have those kind of experiences and care passionately about the community, about the growth of Surrey. And as I say, I think in the future, Surrey is going to be the most important city in Canada, and I think in many ways will be an example to the world as we grow and evolve in so many ways over the next many years.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
ਦੋਸਤੋ ਗੌਰਡੀ ਹੌਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸਡ ਇਹ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਨੇ, ਕੌਂਸਲਰ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਮੇਅਰ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਵਾਈਟ ਰੌਕ ਦੇ, ਫਿਰ MLA ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਮੈਂਬਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਮੇਟੀ 'ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਕੀਤੇ। ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਕੀ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰਵਾਵਾਂਗੇ।
ਸਾਡਾ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵੇਖਣ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਨ ਲਈ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ ਚੈਨਲ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਟਨ ਤੇ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰੋ।